SpaceX company to be able to go to the moon in the time frames that we want. So this is all great experience for us, and we couldn't do it without without Boeing, for example, for today.
Starliner, pad, air to ground 1.
Starliner, go ahead.
Starliner, be advised, we've been given a go to proceed with final hatch closure.
We are ready.
Oh, they are ready for sure.
They are ready, I know. We're ready too.
Several weeks.
Copy that. We're smiling out here too. See you in a couple weeks.
That's great. See you in a couple of weeks.
Which will be then when we open that hatch again.
And so now for the latest out of that last weather briefing we heard about and NASA's oversight of launch operations, let's bring back NASA's Daryl Nail here at Kennedy. Daryl.
Yeah, you heard about the weather brief. You're talking about it. The weather brief was a great one, just reiterating that we are in a great position. Outdoors, temperatures are nice, around the 80s. We have some light winds, about 10 knots flowing in. We do have some coastal showers, but they're pretty far offshore. We have a satellite, we have radar rather, that can show us that, and you can see there on the right-hand side, you see those showers kind of popping up and growing just south of the Space Coast. But Launch Weather Officer Melody Lovin just reported to the launch team that she is forecasting that they will all stay far away offshore. In addition, there's some cumulus clouds that are popping up and around, but she says those shouldn't be a factor as well. They are going to keep an eye on them. So we are still, according to our weather officer, 90% go for liftoff at T0 at 10:52 and 15 seconds a.m. Eastern Time. There you see the light winds and the expected temperature, and that only concern the cumulus cloud rule because you can't fly a rocket through a cumulus cloud. Otherwise, it could potentially create its own lightning strike. So that's why they have that rule in place. There's a beautiful shot right there. You can see some of the puffy clouds in this shot, but that looks a little more compressed because that's a distant view, which makes those clouds look like they're more clustered. This is kind of gives you a better shot here. Looks like we're launching into a clear blue sky, and we sure hope that that holds for the rest of the way, and certainly the forecast indicates as such. Want to take a moment now to bring in and introduce one of the members of NASA's Commercial Crew Program who is working the launch today. We're joined by Brittany White, who is with CCP. She is a launch site integrator, and you sit right over there.
Yes,
right back there. Been doing your job. Been watching you as you've been listening to some of the milestones even pass by here, and you're giving big thumbs up. So I know your team has been working really hard over these past few months, especially during the launch attempts. Your insight is into the ground side.
Correct.
Ground side was an issue, of course, during the second launch attempt.
Yes.
But equipment was replaced. Dylan Rice, our ULA commentator, talked about that. How are we doing right now?
Beautifully. We are looking great for an attempt today, and a hopefully successful attempt at that one. It is a beautiful day out there, and the teams are working some minor issues, which are normal that we see, but nothing standing in our way right now.
So many systems, so many things going on with the rocket that
Of
there's
course.
little things that always pop up that the team has to work. But as you mentioned, nothing big. This is the third launch attempt. And so I'm wondering, as somebody who's working this with each and every attempt and the long hours that are involved, how do you stay hungry? How do you stay after it with each successive attempt?
Well, the mission is an incredible one. I mean, this alone, working with crew in general, being able to be even a small part of the team that brings crew to the ISS, that is amazing. And this mission in itself is incredible. The very first crewed flight of Boeing Starliner, the first crewed flight of ULA's Atlas V, and the first crewed flight from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in about 60 years.
61 years.
So, I mean, just so many firsts, so many incredible moments, incredible milestones, and the team looks out for each other, and we're reminded of how important this mission is every day.
Great words there, and certainly we're glad that the team is looking after each other, because you guys have put in some really long days and long hours throughout this entire campaign. You've been in your current position for 7 months, so
Yes.
you're pretty new to the job. What's been one of the neatest things that you've experienced since coming on CCP?
Well, so one of the pinch me moments, I'll say, was in February of this year. I was able to be on the tower that we're seeing here live today.
Up on the top of the tower.
Up on the top of the tower, and I was able to witness ULA testing that crew arm and white room that we're seeing right here swinging. They perform functional tests, functional swings, to make sure that on launch day everything is going to go according to plan and work out any kinks that they might see. So I was fortunate enough to be standing, almost as close as we are right now to when they were swinging that arm, and not only seeing a piece of